What's up, guys? It's your girl Kaya Trades, and you guys know I'm just pulling myself out of a losing streak, but I still trust in my strategy. I trade supply and demand, so I want to show you guys step by step how I'm able to still trust my strategy because it works. Let's see on the charts. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. First things first, we're going to go to the trade. The trade that I took was on Monday, July 13th at obviously market open for New York session. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out my 9:30 area. I do not take trades before 9:30 just because I've done it in the past and it just doesn't work for me. So I wait until market opens. Before I even start looking for a trade, we're going to go ahead and write out my KT system. This is what I'm looking for when I come to the charts every single day. If you're coming to the charts unprepared or without a plan, you are a gambling trader and you need to lock in because you're not going to be successful if you come in just like, oh, look, it's selling, I'm going to sell. Oh, look, it's going up, but I'm going to buy. Like, you need to have a plan and a structure and follow it to a T. Of course, there's going to be times that you mess up. Again, guys, I'm coming out of a losing streak, right? But I believe in my strategy. I know supply and demand works, so I'm just going to show up every day, follow my steps, and we will turn up on the upside. And that's currently actually what we've been doing. So we're going to start off with the 1 hour, and then we're going to check the news first because I'm going to show you guys my top-down analysis from top to bottom, what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking when I come to the markets. So I'm also going to put my daily note here. Okay, discipline, patience, and freedom, because I know discipline plus patience, equals freedom, okay? So we're here. We can already see price has been moving around on the 1 hour. We can see that a low is made, a lower low. I'm going to do this one just because I like this one more cleaner than that one. We made a higher high, then we broke structure and made a lower low. This high is lower than this high, so it's a lower high, and I'm anticipating price to continue the trend to the downside unless we start breaking structure higher. So I'm going to write up my high right here. This is my 1 hour high, and then I'll write out my 1 hour low beautifully right there. We can tell it's a low because price broke a low here, broke structure. So I'm going to write that out for you guys. And then, guys, we're going to write it down in our strategy box because we're following our strategy. I want my 1 hour and my 5 minutes to be in alignment, so I have to be able to identify those first. So let's go ahead and write our 1 hour is bearish. So if I drop down to my 5 minute and I see bullish price action, I want to wait. I want to wait until we see bearish price action before I start even thinking about taking a trade or looking at taking trades, right? So we're here, we see price can either, let me get my arrow tool. Price can either, this could be the full pullback and we can just start making structures to the downside, or we can continue a little bit higher, a little bit deeper into this range before then trying to pull back and make bearish structure back to the downside. So let's go ahead and check the news really quickly for Monday's trade. As we can see, FOMC was all day. It was yellow folder news, but it's still FOMC, which is important. And I believe Donald Trump texted or tweeted yesterday. So that also kind of, played with the markets a little bit. So we're going to drop on down to the 5 minute because after my 1 minute trend, 1 hour trend, because after my 1 hour trend, I already know, okay, here, we're going to get ready for the 5 minute trend. And as we can see, we had a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. I'm going to cover this whole thing, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high. This high is higher than that one. That low is higher than that one. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We weren't able to break this high. Price is already starting to move down. I don't necessarily see any supply zones right now, but that is what I'll be looking for as we get closer to the 9:30 open. Okay, gonna zoom in so you guys can see that just a little bit better. Perfect. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and move forwards towards 9:30. And as we can see, prices continue the trend. We still have a lower high. This high created is lower than this most recent high. Okay, I want to look at current price action. Price could potentially drop here or make a higher low and push a little higher. So we want to zoom in just a little so you guys can see. I'm anticipating price to break this low in order for me to start looking for a trade. This would be considered my break of structure if price can break this low and continue the trend of being bearish. I want to see that take place. So we're going to go to market open. And what do we get? Boom, a break of structure. I love it. I love it already. So we're going to write it inside our text box at the top, our KT system. All right. So we got the break of structure here at 9:30. So I'm going to put yes at 9:30 a.m. Beautiful. So now I can go ahead and create my supply zone. My entry time frame is on the 5-minute. So I'm on the 5-minute time frame. And I'm going to write out my 5-minute supply zone. And as I do in all my videos, just to kind of help you guys out, I'm going to type when we use a supply zone and when we use a demand zone. In this case, we have a bearish or going down market, and that is when we use our supply zones. When we have a bullish or going up market, that's when we want to use a demand zone. So currently we are using a supply zone because the market is going down. Market is making a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low than that one, a lower high than that one, a lower low than that one. As we can see, this is moving in a downwards direction. We can see that clearly with our beautiful eyes. Thank God that we can see, right? All right, so the next step that I want to focus on is waiting for price to come back to this zone, tap me in, and allow me to take it along with the trend. So we're gonna wait until we see that happen. Oh, let me anchor this down 1 second. Boom. All right, so let's see. Do we get it here? Nope. Do we get it here? Nope. And then look, price is coming for this 1 hour low here. I want to see if it sweeps this low, to which I would change this to a dash line, or if it completely takes it out and continues the trend to the downside. So let's go ahead and press the next button. Price broke that low. It kind of swept it. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's taking some of this liquidity to push back up into our zone and allow us to take it on for the ride. Let's see. All right, it's closed below. It's confirming to us that price really wants to go down. So let's see. Let's continue. All right, we got some bullish action here. We're ready for price to come and tag us into this trade. However, I am not an immediate or aggressive trade taker. I'm not going to wait exactly for price to come to my zone and then take it. I want to wait for more confirmation before I get into a trade, because this immediate tap could immediately shoot through my zone and then I'd be sad because I was like, dang, I thought I was going to do this and it didn't. So I want to wait for more confirmation. So after price comes and taps my zone, I want to wait for a break of candle to enter my trade. I will show you guys that when we get there. Okay, let's see how long it takes before we get a tap of our zone. Price is still making its way down. It's still making its way down. It doesn't want to come get us. Oh, hold on. Hold on, it might come get us. Let's see if we can get a tap on this next candle. Absolutely. Market tapped our zone. It is 10:25 when this happened. So we've had to do at least 50 minutes of waiting. Okay, you got to be patient. What do we have right here on our daily note? Patience, right? Got to be patient. So at 10:25, yes, we were able to get a tap of our supply zone in our bearish market. So what I meant by the break of candle for entry, which is the last final step that I do when I take my trades, is I want price to come below this low of the candle that tapped my supply zone before I get into a trade. Then I would put my stop loss at the top of the candle that got broken. We're going to see if it happens this candle. Let's just say price moves higher into my box and we have a higher low, right? So this low now becomes like something up here. We would adjust our take profit tool or our art tool, whatever you call it. And we are going to adjust it and move it because we want the next candle's low to be broken before we get into a trade for our bearish markets, okay, our going down markets. The inversely, it would be wait for the high to break for the demand zones going up, but we'll save that for a day that's going up. All right, so we're waiting for the break of candle. Let's see if we can get that on this next candle here. We did not. So what are we going to do? We're going to make adjustments to our risk reward tool. Reward. I can say the word. All right. And now we're adjusting our stop loss. It's a little bit less of our stop loss, which is good because I want to risk as least as possible. And of course, as always, I'm shooting for the 1 to 2. So we're going to wait and see if price will give us a break of candle to the downside for our bearish market on this next candle. Let's see. We got a tap of the zone. Beautiful. What I'm going to do is write that out in my box, and then we're going to mark out our 1 to 1. If you guys notice in my KT system box, it says BE at 1 to 1. I have recently changed my rules to where instead of just moving my stop loss to break even, I now take profits at 1 to 1 because I've already earned the profits that price is giving me at the 1 to 1. So I'm just going to take partials off. I want to be able to secure profits at that time. And we also got the break of candle here at 10:35. So we still had to wait another 10 minutes before even entering the trade. Beautiful. So I'm going to mark out my 1 to 1, which I just showed to you guys right here. Beautiful. I think this candle here was when Trump talked. Like we were headed up to our zone and then he was like, nah, I'm gonna say something. And then it was just like, whatever. But this is our TP1. At my TP1, I'm going to take off partials and just have a good time, right? I want to be able to secure some profits out of the market. I want to be able to take money out of the market. All right, so that's my TP1. When TP1 happens, I'm going to take partials, but I also have kept the move to break even too. So we'll see when we get there. Let's see if we can attack that 1 to 1. And in 5 minutes, we were able to smash TP1. I believe that was around $400 or $500 that I took off of this trade. I'm not completely sure. And then price was moving and I was just like, yeah. Our 1 to 2 was right here. It came so close, guys. It came so close to my 1 to 2, to which normally if it comes a little bit closer to 1 to 2, I'll move my stop loss where the 1 to 1 is to at least secure the 1 to 1. But since I take profits, I just leave it at break even so I can give it more room to breathe. I move my stop loss to break even after it passed 1 to 1, and we got stopped out at 1 to 1. Well, we got stopped out at break even, but I took the profits of the 1 to 1. So I was up a roughly, I think it was $400 or $500 yesterday. Let me double check that for you guys real quick. I think it was 406. Yeah, 435. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe not. But I was up about $435 yesterday. And this was a beautiful trade, right? It didn't go all the way to my TP2, but because I have my system in place and I do, if this happens, then I'll do this, I was still able to secure a bag from this trading session, right? We're going to go ahead and start moving the charts to see what happens. Inevitably, it would have hit my stop loss had I not taken anything off the table. So I would have lost the 400 that I made plus a little bit extra and then lost all of that 400 plus another 400, that was my stop loss. So I would have lost like $1,200 on this trade had I just never took any profits off and just let it do whatever, not move my stop loss to break even and just let it, like, take the money that you earn, guys. Take the money that you earn. And then that was pretty much the end of my trading session. I was in drawdown last week. You guys know I was, not following my rules, I assume, but I was in a hole, and supply and demand, I know I trust it, so it just gave me opportunities. When I came back after back testing and reviewing my journal, guys, I was able to come back and start putting more profits back into my account. I am going to do a video about the trade that was taken on Tuesday. So go ahead and click that next video if you want to see how I made about $600. So same system, same process, just seeing it over and over and over is really helpful for you guys, for myself as well. And if you're wanting to trade with me, I trade live Monday through Friday. I look for the same things when I come to the market. We have weekly calls for Q&A as well as backtesting sessions together where my community and I just have a good time. We talk, we have fun, we ask questions, and we grow together. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section if you're wanting to take your trading to the next level. Again, love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you in the next video.